This is Mission Control Houston. We are now receiving live video of the Soyuz TMA-03M spacecraft. It is descending elegantly under its chute. Everything is on track. The weather down at the landing site, mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the low 80s, light winds out of the north, now descending into a cloud bank. At the time that the final series of helicopters left Karaganda about 2 hours ago to begin moving toward the landing site, there was some light rain in the Karaganda area, but that's well to the northeast of the landing site. You can see that the weather at the landing site or in the close proximity of the landing site is good. Landing is scheduled just 10 minutes from now. We now, of course, are watching live video courtesy of Roscosmos, the Russian Federal Space Agency, of the final minutes of the descent of the Soyuz TMA-03M spacecraft after 193 days in space.
Station Houston on 1, no response required. We know you don't have KU, just wanted to give you an update. 29S is under shoot now, and we're watching them. Everything looks good.
Drifting down to its landing site, Oleg Kononenko, Don Pettit, Andrei Kuipers, under a fully deployed main chute. Time to touch down about 9 minutes. A dozen Russian Mi-8 helicopters with Russian Search and Recovery Force personnel, RSC Energia technical specialists, NASA support personnel, and European Space Agency support personnel now flying in that racetrack pattern that we talked about earlier around the prime landing site. So far, so good. It looks like the Soyuz vehicle is headed for an on-target bullseye landing. Everything continuing to look in great shape with the Soyuz vehicle. Once again, you're watching its descent under its main parachute toward its landing target just to the southeast of the town of Dzhezkazgan in southeast Kazakhstan. The undocking of the Soyuz from the International Space Station's Rassvet module occurred on time just before 11:48 p.m. Central Time on Saturday night. The Soyuz conducted 2 separation burns to move to a distance of 12 kilometers away from the station, at which point at 2:19 a.m., just under an hour ago, the Soyuz engines fired for 4 minutes and 15 seconds in a deorbit burn, a deceleration retrograde maneuver to begin the trip back home into the Earth's atmosphere. The 3 sections of the Soyuz vehicle separated perfectly at 2:47 a.m. Central Time, followed by the deployment of the chutes 15 minutes later, setting the stage for what you're watching as the Soyuz descends under mostly clear skies to a landing site in a very desolate area of southeast Kazakhstan. Search and recovery forces are flying overhead, accompanied by 2 Antonov fixed-wing aircraft that are relaying data and telemetry from the Soyuz spacecraft back to the flight control team at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow. On a Sunday afternoon in southeast Kazakhstan, the view of the Soyuz TMA-03M spacecraft continuing to drift gently back toward Earth, now just 4 minutes away from its scheduled touchdown, its main chute having been deployed on time a few minutes ago. All of the Soyuz systems in good shape. We are not hearing communications at the moment from the crew, but the search and recovery forces will be in contact with the crew momentarily and are continuing to relay updates to the Russian flight control team at the Russian Mission Control Center.
Переконфигурацию связи можно начинать вовремя, да, ребята? Минуту. Как там дела у экипажа идут? Под куполом наблюдаем вот по телевидению. Отлично.
Continuing to receive stunning views of the final minutes of the flight of the Soyuz TMA-03M and the Expedition 31 crew, Oleg Kononenko, Don Pettit, Andrei Kuipers, as they gently descend this last couple of minutes or so back to their landing site. Search and recovery personnel are all in place, hovering around the prime landing site, flying in a circular pattern, just waiting for that capsule to touch down, at which point the Russian Mi-8 helicopters will begin to land in sequential fashion near the spacecraft.
Proceed in 2 minutes.
We're about a minute and a half away from touchdown. Everything continuing to look good. Radio beacon signals from the Soyuz being picked up by the Antonov fixed-wing aircraft. We haven't had any voice communication from the crew recently, but all reports prior to that showed an excellent descent, everything nominal, all Soyuz vehicle functions in great shape. Should be approaching touchdown. With any luck at all, we may be able to see the soft landing engines fire just a second before touchdown itself. And you can see one of those search and recovery helicopters. Once again, that helicopter part of a dozen such Russian Mi-8 helicopters. Touchdown, 3:14 and 48 seconds a.m. Central Time. You saw the soft landing engines fire just a split second before the Soyuz hit the ground southeast of Dzhezkazgan, a bullseye touchdown. Landing once again at 3:14 and 48 seconds Central Time, 2:14 and 48 seconds p.m. at the landing site in Kazakhstan. The Expedition 31 crew, Oleg Kononenko, Pettit, Kuipers, home after 193 days in space.